Okay, go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another exciting podcastiness of me talking about how fucking cold it is.
We've got an
It's like
Australian
blazingly cold.
kicking off
It's
about the
not,
fact that
yeah,
it's cold in Australia, which you don't expect to hear ever.
no, but I mean, I do live down the hill from the snowfield, so it is like actually does get properly cold here because we actually do get snow for like half a year here. Well, 3 months a year at least. We actually have a snow season where I am, in the Alpine region. Which is only just up the hill. But yeah, this morning I've woken up and I've walked outside, and it's like proper British frost. You know, like everything has got like a blanket of white across it, and even where the sun's come out, they're still frosty even where the sun's come out. Like, you know, there's certain plants that are higher up I've dropped stuff, like the agapanthus. I've just seen they've dropped off stuff, but all of the other trees are still, if they can sit with ice on, they are doing.
Wow.
So it's like when you imagine Narnia and you're sort of like wandering along. I mean, it doesn't happen over here. See, like very often you get days of it, but not regular type thing, not like it is in Britain. But here it's like you walk along and you feel like you'd snap something in half. It looks like an icicle.
Wow.
It does make you wonder how all the bloody natives, like all the introduced ones, all drop their leaves and just cope. But then how do all the native trees cope with it?
Well, they're expecting
when they're used to like it being but they're used to it being 40 degrees in the middle of summertime, and then in the winter though it's like, you know, minus fucking 10 or whatever it is.
The plants know that sooner or later it will get warmer again, so they just
I suppose
just wait it out. And the ones ones that could genetically wait it out, the mutated ones that had better temperature resistance, are the ones you got left.
Yeah, I suppose
there
so.
were millions of
because everything else
plants
has
that totally
died.
couldn't do it, and just fucking
they were the ones that ended the dinosaur age.
Transferred because they washed up on the shore, or transferred because everything has turned up in Australia at some point in human evolution and species evolution, all the plants, all the animals and stuff, and they've just stopped where it works. That's total survival of the fittest. However, if you let them evolve for another couple of million years, they'd probably all look a bit different, just naturally. If humans weren't there,
they just evolved into being their own thing,
and more and different things would evolve to fill the niches left by the larger animals or the slower animals. You know, they'd evolve to be quicker or more aggressive, or meat eaters and stuff like that. You know,
it's fascinating. Actually, I was looking at
nature will just crawl into it.
I was looking at
vent or an English meadow.
An English meadow. No, I was looking at so feral cats are a real big problem over here, and so are feral goats. And feral cats are weird because they've got to the stage now where they're bred out. So out in the bush, they're bred out like they don't know what a human is, so they're not scared of us.
Yeah.
They have no fear of humans. You just walk up to a cat, and like it'll watch you, and it has no regard for who or what you are.
But you got to imagine
in terms
being
of you being a predator.
You know, if you can avoid all the really dangerous shit that will kill you.
Yeah, which you can, because it's basically if you're that size, it's snakes and spiders, and there's nothing else that's going to actually hurt you.
The majority of the remaining animals are either smaller or slower than you. You know,
and they just eat them.
Going to be able to outrun a roo, no problem, because it will just zigzag and run into the fucking bush. There's no way a roo can follow it if it gets pissed off.
Yeah.
But I wonder what their behaviour's like, whether they bond into sort of like groups or prides of feral cats, or they're all loners.
Yeah.
That must be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
My daughter's pet cat got photographed as a feral cat not so long ago. He's part feral cat. He's a very big cat. But and they had this big sort of like, look, pictures of feral cats from all over the country. They're becoming a bit of an issue. Yeah. Except that this one was wearing a collar. It was like there was one in the middle of them with a collar on, and nobody had spotted it, which was pretty funny because he's always had a collar. And it's just like when he is, you know, and my ex-wife phoned up. I think it was the BBC. It was the BBC News website. Emailed them or phoned them up and said, "That's not a feral cat. That fifth one down." And they went, "How do you know?" And she went, "It's got a collar on. It's our cat." I recognise the collar and the colouring. It is our cat. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah. No, I saw. I mean, our two cats. The like Lol, who's the mum cat. She was a feral. She just turned up as a kitten one day, and you know, I don't know how old they are when they get kicked out of the group, but she just got kicked out, and
That shows
turned
some
up on top of my
impressive
combi.
planning on the cat's part. It's like, okay, the humans have always got food. It doesn't look like they're able to run around too much for it.
Oh, sorry. Just those. Yeah, no, it's a weird thing. And then she just appeared, and then she decided she was going to be nice to us. See you later.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? A cat just goes, oh no, fuck this living in the wild shit. I want to be indoors.
Yeah, no,
indoors looks a lot better.
Well, she doesn't even sleep indoors. She just sleeps on the back veranda. But she's, she gets fed. And her boyfriend turned up.
That there are people, there are other people around. If she got ill, and she gets food, and it's just like, yeah, all right, I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll just hang out here
for a cat. Does the kitten live in the house?
No, the kitten stays outside, because everyone's cooker cats. They all sleep outside, something. But we got rid of all the kittens apart from one, because it was the runt, and it was the one that was really, docile. So we got rid of all of the kittens apart from the one that was the runty one, who was very, very friendly because I fed it.
Wasn't a vicious attack cat. Yeah, we'll keep that one.
No, and now her name's Cucumber. Matilda obviously named it, and yeah, so she just hangs out. Like she'll come in the house. Like Matilda will pick her up and bring her in the house, just so that shits and giggles of it. When there's no one around, she bring the cat inside and give it a pat and do whatever.
Wow.
Someone at work was clever enough to fill up the wood box so that I kept the fire going for them. Anyone would think they were being trained.
Oh, that's the thing, though, that if you work in a job where your workspace is continually messed with, it's not a good thing that it's, when you come in and it isn't completely trashed, and people go, oh, you should thank me for it not being shit. It's just like, well, how is it not shit all the time? You should. That's how it should be. Thank you,
yes,
for understanding that this is how it should be. If you can do this for the next 100 days, that would be lovely. But you're not going to. Tomorrow when I come in, it's going to be shit.
Shit again,
you know it, I know it.
No.
It's going to be horrible.
No. They do astound me with their idiocracies, though. It's just like,
Oh.
I don't understand it. No.
No, there's a few people at work that have got the capacity to have their minds. They do interesting stuff. That's one of the good things of working in a high turnover place where a lot of people are at university. Some people at university are studying really interesting stuff while they're working there.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of definite, sort of like, this may not be a plan. I know a few of them that are just working because it actually pays quite well if you're working out the front of the house. Because you serve that many people, and it's a sit-down restaurant, and tips are encouraged.
Yes,
they do make a fair bit of wedge. Just waiting tables and stuff, and working bar. They get quite a lot of tips.
Yeah.
So, so a lot of them just sort of just carry on, even though they've got a degree in something that's really interesting. They're like, well, I've worked it out. I've done the math. I would actually earn more working here than I would teaching or,
Yeah, doing whatever.
Or doing something that my degree qualifies me to do.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting degree. One day I might find a job where I can use it. But...
Yeah. I think that's the issue we have with Why did you do that for, you strange people? Yes, you've done that, but okay, you've done that right. But why have you put those in there? And then wash those with a pair of shoes. People are astoundingly, spectacularly stupid. So there you go. If anyone is actually listening and you would like to know the correct operation for how to operate the dryer and washing machine so you don't annoy the cleaner who comes in and cleans up after you, do not wash anything with the mop heads that mop the toilets. So the mop heads for the rest of the restaurant that get used. Now. It's just like if you mop anything with the mops that go through for mops, right? If you wash anything with the mops, then everything gets covered in mop fluff. But also it means I have to rewash everything you just put in with those mops. Yeah, because obviously if I clean the toilet with something, you don't want it going back into the bar, do you? Like that's kind of an obvious thing. And there's a big fucking note on the sign, and I've informed everyone who works here what you were doing when you fucking annoyed me.
You know when I'm cross,
I have this conversation.
It's one of these.
Yeah, it's like I have this conversation with you about once every 3 weeks. You fucked up my washing, and I had to start it again from scratch because you didn't fucking listen.
See,
did you understand what I told you last time?
Soon. And I've told work, look, I'm planning to quit smoking. Now, I'm going to try and do it on the week off that I've got booked, the first week of July.
Yes.
When I'm doing the Oldham Way.
Yeah.
Which should be a laugh if I've just quit smoking. And,
hey, suddenly your lungs start working better.
Well, my mate Dean is going to be with me for most of that week. So for the first 4 or 5 days, he'll be about. So, you know, and he knows it's going to make me grumpy as fuck.
Yeah.
But he's a fun person to have around if I'm grumpy. He's literally like, whenever we hang out, it's like there hasn't been a time gap. We just slip back into the sort of conversations you always have.
Yeah.
And we go into proper old bastard mode together and just like go for long walks and shit. But I'm one of those people that I am largely grumpy about most things in life, and he's largely cheerful about it. But it's really funny when he snaps, because he snaps over the smallest shit. The things that he does go berserk. I've seen him completely lose it, like I lose it, and we lose it about the same sort of frequency.
But just over completely different shit.
But you never know what's going to set Dean off. With me, it can be politics or the economy or just general shittiness of stupidity.
Just general stupidity in real life.
Why isn't it better? Type shit.
Yeah.
And then with him, it will be something inconsequential. I'll give you an example. We're going to go to what I kid you not. This must sound really daft if you're an Australian. A didgeridoo festival. These things exist. Yes, I know that. They're amazing. It's like you can
they only exist somewhere other than Australia. I guarantee it.
If you
in Australia, there's no such thing as called a didgeridoo.
That you might be too much of a hippie, and you want to cure yourself of feeling like that just because you think shit should be better, and it could be better in about 5 minutes. That's the annoying thing about most of it. But if you ever think you're too much of a hippie, go to a didgeridoo festival and it will cure you of that. And it's like, no, I'm normal. These people are just fucking... It must be galling. And I've spoken to people about it. There's a guy called Mark Aker who's a famous didge player internationally. Probably nobody in Australia knows who he is. It's a bit like people that are famous in Australia that nobody in the rest of the world thinks is famous. It's like the opposite.
Just effect. As a side... That's exactly the same as who was the man who played the wobble board, who was then found out to be a kiddie fiddler. What was his name?
Yeah, Rolf Harris.
So Rolf Harris, right, was this big thing in the UK.
Oh yeah. Oh, huge. I was a kid when Rolf Harris was massive, and like really one of the most famous people ever. Yeah. Oh. Have I lost you? Oh no. Perhaps he's walked into a particular room. There's still a connection there. Excuse me, listeners. Emergency communication. Okay. Yeah, so isn't this...
Sorry about a didgeridoo festival.
All right, yeah. And go to a didgeridoo festival, and you will not think that you're a hippie.
We
went to this. The Dean story is we went to this didgeridoo festival, and we've gone camping and hung out with these hippie people for quite a few events. Like it's about the third event in, and we're in the supermarkets. We had this tradition of going and setting up our camp on the Friday night, and then on the Saturday morning, before anybody was really up, go and get all the provisions, so we didn't have to schlep them all the way down there. So we go to a supermarket and just get a few easy to make meals. So he didn't have to dick around cooking. So, and for that, the best ever sort of bread is like a tortilla, because you can't crush it. If it gets a bit damp, it's not a meal killer like normal bread.
No, because you can just put it on something to heat it up again, and it dries out.
You can just dry it out in the sun if you've got it. You know, you can tip the water off it and dry them out in the sun. It's not a big. Yeah. So they're the most survivable form of bread. They're already flat. You can't crush it.
Yeah.
You can fold it around a lot of different shit, and you're getting your sort of bread fix, where you can just bang some tuna or tuna mayonnaise or a tuna salad into one of these things, and you've done lunch. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, lunch is over. That and maybe a cereal bar, and you're good. You know, just like completely balanced meal, exactly what you need if you're smoking a bit of weed, or you're getting a bit drunk, or you're at a festival and you could just want to mooch around for the afternoon.
Yeah.
So we go to 3 or 4 of these things, and I say, and we're in the bread aisle, and I said, so should we get some wraps? And he just exploded. Apparently he'd had this long hatred of wraps and how boring they were as a bread for like the past 3 events. You know, we'd done one event, it seemed like a good idea, but since then he'd hated it. And he just exploded in the supermarket like a toddler kicking off. And it was just like watching him going, of all the things, you know, all the things in the world, all the things that drive me crackers, and then whether we have wraps or not is the thing that tips you over the edge.
No, it's amazing what sets people off. I mean, I must admit, I'm the same though. You know, I do go bonkers at shit.
The terrible thing is it always makes me laugh when he does it.
Yes.
So
yet another thing.
He's properly angry and furious about this thing. Whichever button I've managed to accidentally push, because I push one at least one every time we hang out, and it just tips him off. You know, sort of like if we hang out for a couple of days, he'll have a complete rant about something, like a proper old guy, like a real old man rant, and he's a year younger than me, and it'll be, you know, sort of like, you know, he'd be the sort of person that would rant that his driving gloves had frayed. If you remember back in the 60s, men would put on leather gloves with crochet backs in order to drive. And he will have it's that sort of thing. He'll go off a proper dad rant. And I think I'm not old enough for this now. Maybe in about 10 or 15 years I'll be having that rant, but not today.
Yeah, not today.
I'm still having idealistic hippie rants. But I'm not as bad as the people who go to didgeridoo festivals. Oh man.
Yes.
Really middle class hippies. Just like
that's why I'm not allowed to go to the Fake Festival.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm not allowed to go to Fake Festivals in Australia.
Yeah, I'm not to be allowed around people like that because I can't help myself.
Yeah. No.
I just want to find a chink when they think they're being all green and all that, and you just sort of like give it a bit, and you say, right, okay, so I will let slide the first 5 things that they say that they do better that makes them a holier person than me, whether it's the level of recycling they do, whether they knit their own yogurt, crochet all their own children's clothes from their own sheep that they keep in their garden. At some point you're going to go, and then we flew to Florida to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I've just got to ask you though. Did you just say knit your own yogurt?
Yeah. It's a phrase my mum used to use because she was a bit of a hippie when she grew up, and she had quite a lot of she had some middle class hippie friends, and that was her term for people that did all the handicrafts and stuff that were just all so creative and living a really fulfilled life, and you knew it was bollocks.
Yep.
And you know, sort of like, so that's my mum's phrase for people that are a little bit too serene.
Knitting your own.
Yeah,
I love it. That's a great term.
Yeah, it just encapsulates.
What do I think I should actually? What I think I should do though, I think I should come up with a because at the folk festival here every year we have like, you know, things to do, like, you know, like little events that are like a micro learning exposés, and I fear that one of them should be now called learning to knit your own yogurt.
Yeah.
You know, I think that should now be a thing that happens in Australia at the Yakananda Folk Festival.
Oh.
Fuck, I hope I've moved by the time we get to the Folk Festival again. I really do hope that I have moved and something has changed.
You get shamed for poking fun at people like that. And it's just like, people will call me a bad person if I point...
How are you a bad person for calling out idiocracy?
Yeah, but it never goes down well.
I don't know why that is though, because I just I think to myself, like, how fucking dumb are you?
It's a bit like the person that accosted me in the street. They were doing a thing about water, you know, and how wasteful people were of water.
Yeah.
And this woman actually stopped me. I was looking at it and she came right up to me, and that's a bad move. If you're a chugger of any kind or a religious person, you know, in the street bothering me, getting in my space and interrupting my day, if I wanted to speak to that person, I would walk up and speak to them.
Yeah.
I really get offended when people do it, and it's just like, don't, because I have an answer. You know, that I've thought about for many years, just in case one of you people walks up and does this.
Comes in and asks me.
Because every time I see you, I think of the perfect thing to say. And I have had many years. And most of you are sensible enough to never stop me. Because you see the look on my face when you try and make eye contact with me. And my eyes are saying, do not fucking dare.
Yes.
And if one of you does it, then... And this woman was going, do you know how many litres of water the average person uses a day? And she's named some numbers, like 165 litres. This is when I was living off-grid.
Yeah, but is this when you were living in a fucking bell tent in the middle of the woods?
165 litres a day. And it's like, how much water do you think you use a week? And I went, I know exactly how much water I use a week because I lug it. And she went, what? I said, I'm not on running water. I use 40 litres of water a week.
Yeah.
And she went, you can't use that. I said, yes, I've got a chemical. I've got a shower. And I wash up like every other day.
Yeah.
Because I have to shift all the water. So I can live with a couple of plates in the sink rather than fill the sink to wash 2 plates, a knife and a fork and a spoon and a couple of coffee cups.
Yeah.
I'll wait till I just go, right, okay, I've got enough to justify heating up and doing water. And it really shut her up and I went on my way. And it was just like, no. And it wasn't because she was a woman, it was because it was just like, the kind of like I'm telling you I don't want to get involved because I will talk about this with you at length and I will have thought about it.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
the one that gets me over here is that
time to completely debate you. I'm on my way to somewhere, which means
I'm doing something.
I intend to be on time. But if you catch me on a day when I'm just wandering about idly, which is not often because I don't go shopping.
You don't.
There's stuff I need.
I believe.
When I'm in the area where the stuff I need is, I buy it then.
Yeah.
You know, I try not to travel purposely to just go shopping. It's like the other day I went shopping and I went and did a video after I'd got the shopping.
Yeah.
You know, and just thought, right, I'm going down there anyway. I've got to go and get this. I'll shoot the video. I'll pick up the things I need from the shops that I want. That's why I like where I live. All the shops I want to shop in are in a row. There's a major supermarket and about 6 discount places.
Yeah.
And generally, if I'm literally going to go and buy it, it will be there. It will be in one of those shops.
Yeah.
I can literally buy everything I need for resupply rather than actual individual stuff that I would order online because you just can't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's in one strip.
No, the thing that does me with Chuggers is over here where there was a response from the unions. So I'm like, because of my parents and all that sort of time, I'm quite engaged in what the unions are doing over here. But the Chuggers don't have any legal representative because they're all on like zero rate casual hours over here, which is like unheard of anywhere else. Everywhere else.
But
and that's the thing that does me is so when they walk up to me, I turn and say, "Are you unionised?" And I give them the union card for the guys who actually cover them now.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you guys actually being properly represented? And they're just like, what? And they're like, we're not supposed to talk to you about this. And I'm like, I know that. That's why when you walk up to me and you're not supposed to talk to me about stuff, I gave you the card saying, stop talking to me and here's a conversation you need to have with yourself about how you're not actually being paid most of the time. That's right, isn't it? You haven't been paid yet, have you? And over here, they just, because that's the thing is, they're completely, the kids they get to do it are people who are working on like over here, I don't know about England, but over here, the people who they get to do it are all transit workers who basically will work for a week and then go, I haven't been paid, nah, fuck this, and then to fuck off and go do something else. So they literally just churn through people every week.
Oh, they will employ
and the managers are set up to.
Here.
Yeah, so but the thing is, they don't even employ people here. They don't pay them anything. It's not even a fucking like real job, right? They're all subcontracted. They've all had to register for an ABN. That's cost them money, and then they're not actually being paid because they're not making any sales or whatever because it's like fucking impossible, right? And the other thing that really annoys me. Right, I'm all 6'2" and weigh 80 kilos and I'm reasonably fit, right? So more so previous years, but getting back there now, right? But what really annoys me is the stereotypical response of they get the bubbly looking like 25-year-old to try and chat me up to do it.
Yeah,
and it's like that's a fucking annoying, you don't know my sexual preference no matter what fucking way it is.
They do prefer their people to be attractive.
Yeah. They don't hire you don't fucking hire ugly people, do they? That doesn't sell. That doesn't sell spaces for kangaroos or whatever the fuck it is.
Well, that's not even the darkest thing about it. The darkest thing about it is how this works, how these direct marketing companies get the gig to represent a charity, is they go to a charity and say, how much did you raise last year? And say Guide Dogs for the Blind will say 10 million. And it's like, how much, if we were to do it, would you want us to raise to make it so that you would just hand over the contract to us? And they'll say, oh, we'd like to raise 13 million this year. You know? And they go, right, okay, so we will aggressively market and get you that 13 million, and any money over the top of that we keep. So essentially,
just, you know,
if you're out in, and that's why you always see them more from sort of like Christmas through till March. Because that's when they've either not made enough money or they are now making profit just for themselves.
They've already made the amount of money that they were supposed to make for the company.
Extra aggressively once they're making their own money. They'll field test it as a raisable amount because they're not in hot for anything. They'll try out that charity, and if the public aren't sympathetic, then they'll drop the contract and give them the money that was raised and treat it as an experiment and move the team on to the next charity. And it's one of those things. Although I don't carry coins, the only people I would give money to, well, the people like the Royal British Legion that collect cash. Because they know they're not.
Because you actually know where it's going.
They don't even want a one-off donation. What they want is you to basically give them that charity a small amount every month. And then hand over to the charity your bank details, and they and that goes towards that raising of that 30 million. They'll calculate it across a year. So it's awful, and I found that out because I applied for a job because I didn't know what direct marketing was at the time. And I started like acting like a really horrific sort of human being, and they were well into it. They were looking like they were going to make me a team leader in a week flat. Because I was just saying, well, you've just got to face the hostage, isn't it? If somebody's not making their quota, they've got to go, haven't they? And he was going, well, we don't put it like that, but in the kind of like, you're the sort of person that's going to harass someone until they just quit, so we can get a new person on that team that will do better. Oh, it was terrific, and I had a recording of it, but I just couldn't bear to listen to it back because it was just like, this is evil. So I, with that knowledge in my eyes, I must manage to transmit that I know what you're doing and how all this works. So don't even think about it, because I'm not giving money to you under the guise of giving money to the charity you're representing. That's so not going to happen. But at this time of year, and if you're pushing this really hard, that's exactly what you're doing.
It's all you're doing is that.
I'm not adding money to that charity's pot. It could be that a very good advertising campaign or someone famous getting that disease or you being affected by it personally would make you predetermined to give to that charity anyway, or to raise money for it. But I see charity as the failure of government.
Well, it's not only the failure of government; it's the failure of society in and of itself. Because
if you're blind and the solution to your blindness is a guide dog, the government should immediately fucking give you one.
Because then you're more productive as a human being.
Guide Dogs for the Blind should be a government department. Alzheimer's care should be done by the government. All these things, research into medical things that affect thousands of people should already be underway. If there is a threat to public health, that's what we pay you for. If we need defending, and it's not you that's caused it, we need defending. We need protection. But we should be looking towards making a society where it's largely unnecessary. Like measles
it's just insane.
Was virtually extinct, and now it's back.
Well, it's like polio polio was basically made extinct, wasn't it?
And now it's back.
All of these diseases
are rickets and vitamin D deficiency diseases and heart conditions in children and obesity and it's just like people
well, you solve these problems. No.
And I think it might well be down to the internet, because everybody has a voice. And enough stupid people can mean that it's a significant percentage of the population, where enough people's stupidity needs to be assessed and interacted with and debated with as if it's truth.
Yeah.
And it's like, no,
Yeah.
that's bullshit. That's why we're not going to talk to you about the moon landings being faked or secret UFO documents or any shit like that. No. No. You know, the Earth is not flat. Fuck off. And if you keep it up, we're going to institutionalise you. You know, if we really believe that you really believe that the Earth is flat, you can't teach children or anything like that. If you really believe in religion,
you can't talk to people.
Trying to brainwash children. No, that's a delusion, and you must be in a nice padded cell somewhere until the urge fades. You know, how about like other terrible habits, you're not allowed to do it till you're 18. Like voting and cigarettes. You know, no.
Yes.
No, you may not. No. If you are convincing enough that once people turn 18 after a secular education, you can then lay it down about your invisible friend in the sky, and they buy it. Good on them.
Yeah. But until then, shut up.
Until then, and if somebody doesn't want to do what you do anymore, no, you may not kill them. That's not okay.
Yes. Yeah.
For what? No. For your weak little hit of oxytocin in your head, because you belong to a group.
Because you belong to a group.
And because you want to feel even more part of that group, you want everybody to have done something terrible together so they can never leave either. Oh yeah. Human beings are pretty simple.
Horrid.
You know, and depressingly so. It's like, look, that's a mental imbalance, mate. Doing all that violence and shit like that, you got to stop. You're not well in the head. If you've got such a piss poor reason for kicking off against these people. You know, and if you have got a legitimate reason, the reason that they felt that they could do it to you was a piss poor reason. So we need to go and talk to them. And just go, no, unnecessary. Oppressing your people and then trying to oppress people in an entirely different fucking country is totally not on.
Yeah, it's just wrong.
However you're going about it, whether it's economically or militarily or politically.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah. No. Right then. Yeah. Well, I better get off and actually do some work.
Okay, man.
Start my day. Thank you for the chat, as always. It was funny.
Yeah.
Yes. You can think of me mopping and cleaning toilets as you go to bed now.
Yeah.
The laundry's done.
That's one thing I don't have to do in my job. I do have to mop the pot wash area.
Yeah.
But,
no.
Yeah.
No.
But I don't have to do
it's
that.
It's all right though. There's no humans, and I get to listen to the audiobooks. Oh, well, do you remember I can't. It's 1 second.
Oh yeah, I listened
1
to
second
that.
after.
Yeah.
It's fucking. I was still listening to it because I only get like an hour on my own type thing, so I can listen to audiobooks.
Oh, I listened to.
So far it's fascinating.
I've listened to the second and third ones as well.
Oh, okay. Well, don't ruin it for me. But
half of the third one. Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was just fascinated. So I've got to the bit now, right at the start, where the EMP has gone off, and then like he's driving, like he's basically gone like we have the only working car apart from one other person. And, gone through the first night, woken up, gone downtown, and everyone's going like, well, people are starting to die because everything's turning off.
Yeah.
So if people don't know, they should go and look up EMP pulses because it's fascinating. Yeah.
I feel like I've known that forever.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, I don't think, I don't think it's in the same, consciousness as something like...
I mean, it's always like the moment any one of those things, like the food supply breaks down or the natural gas supply breaks down for heating or the electricity supply falls over, that's it. You've got to be thinking about that. That's why, I've got, an EMP pulse. I mean, I do have to put it in a Mylar bag as a partial or a couple of Mylar bags to give it at least some chance of survival.
Yeah.
But I do have a radio, and I do have.
Yeah, when those. That's what I was wondering about. That's the thing.
At any one time.
Yeah. No, that's not. I don't have a problem with the food and stuff like that. What did me was I was like, oh yeah, transistor radios would be worth their weight in gold, and it's easy enough to store, say, like a 20-meter antenna, like half end-fed antenna. Yeah. It's easy enough to store all that stuff away, but then I don't know. See, that's my problem with all that radio stuff is I don't know enough about the radio stuff to turn around and know which kit to buy and build or know which radio to buy and build. That'll basically give you, like, via NVIS or via, will give you a decent enough spread and is wide enough to be used.
If you had enough people and everybody just agreed to buy a little solid state Morse set and just assemble it and then put it in a couple of mylar bags and seal it up, and every so often just test it. All you need is a 10-meter antenna if there are enough of them. If one person in 10,000 had a Morse set, which is like just AM, it's really simple. It's like Marconi era radio.
Yeah.
And sort of like enough people had them, and you just knew a procedure that you just went, okay, this is my station identity. I'm up and running after the thing. Yeah. I've tested it with a little, and I've got 2. Somebody went 100 yards away and tuned into the frequency, and I was just beeping out ABC, ABC, and half a mile away somebody went, yep, that's transmitting. We worked out that a 10-meter antenna, as high as we could possibly get it, with community help, we could put it up a big tree or some shit. Just throw a weight over a tree branch and then haul it
over
down
the branch. Yeah.
And then just went okay. And I will say where I am, what sort of state we're in, whether it's red, amber, or green, and then somebody 10 miles away will pick that up, and then go right and write that down. And then at certain times of the day, somebody goes, right, this is local station control for the Manchester area. Yeah. Please transmit your things at the following times every day. Yeah. And we will transmit a news broadcast that you just write down the dots and dashes and then translate. And we'll keep it as brief. We'll keep it telegram short. If there are any serious problems or there's a fire somewhere that we need help with or some crazy shit like that, then people at least can respond and they don't feel so alone, which will cut down on the panic. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. If you, no matter how primitive it is,
that level of communication aids people greatly.
To ask if anybody's seen loved ones that are in a different part of that city, or heard news of what's going on generally in the country. A very short, concise, 100-word news broadcast that is as short and concise as possible, and then everybody gets like 2 minutes to ask for details in that slot. Yeah. So you can say, right, you can send a question back, say, what about what happened in North London or blah, 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 type shit. And you could literally have a news service, which was like a primitive telegraph with almost no technology. I mean, it's like 30 parts. It's like a handful of capacitors. Yeah, well, I think it's like,
it has to be able to fit into, like, you have to be able to fit into something that can, you have to be able to fit into something that anyone could store away anywhere in the smallest little fucking like shed, couldn't you?
Yeah, a Morse,
what you want is you want
the size of a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, and that's what you need. You need that all set up so it's like, like say you could fit into like a standard, 50 cal ammunition box, the whole get up and go.
You could fit it into like a standard ammo pouch.
Yeah,
that's how small they are.
And then just
minuscule.
That's how small they are.
You could probably fit one in an Altoid tin.
Yeah.
They're really small.
And then just make them cheaply enough that people can, go and spend a $5 on them and go and do them.
They are a $5.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. They are a $5. I bought mine for like £4.30 off eBay.
Yeah.
They are extremely cheap. A reel of copper wire is extremely cheap. The only things that you need as well as that are maybe a cheap set of headphones.
Yeah.
That will plug into the 3.5mm socket that's on the side of the receiver.
Socket, yeah.
And a some kind of switch that you can wire into a mono jack plug.
Yeah.
And just like a micro switch, they're like £1. It's just for your key, and that's it. So you can transmit and receive. Just attach a long length of wire to it, and you've got a little coax plug to plug it into. So you just make a big loop, like a 10-15 meter loop of copper wire, and clip that to an old television aerial connector, and push that in, and you're done.
Yeah,
it's like a 3-minute setup. You could even leave them disassembled. But that does raise problems because of things like soldering irons. You need to solder it together, so you probably best off building it ahead of time. So
well, my thought was that people should have one set up so they're listening and doing stuff with it, and then have another one put away. That's why I wanted it to be cheap.
Yeah, they are. They're astonishingly cheap because it's mostly solid state parts. I think there's one IC in it, so you probably would want to put it in a couple of mylar bags
in the cage,
in the actual metal ones. And make sure that, say, things like the chip isn't in it.
Yeah.
So, So you reduce the connection even further. It's not in a circuit where any of the pulse can earth and connect to it. You know, just leave the chip out and put the chip in when you're going to use it. And, you know, and just put it in as much insulation as possible and make sure that the power's not connected. Yeah. Because when the power's connected, then they really get fucked. But you've got a sort of chance then they can. But if you, I mean, those are cheap enough that you could probably get 3 or 4, and just go right. One of these chips will be good. If we can just make sure that we've got 2 working out of 4 or 5 of them, and then when you're not the other thing, you put your built one, you know, your main one in the same environment. You go, this could be absolutely invaluable. You know, if the transistor blows, I've got a couple of other chances that the transistors survive. If the ICU on there blows, then I could swap them over until I can get one that worked. If I get 2 out of these 5 to work after an EMP, for 25 for money that is worthless now, for paper, I have got, you know, a bunch of working transceivers that I can teach people to use. Because the thing about Morse code is, if you key it relatively slowly, anybody can write down the dots and dashes. And it's weirdly one of those things. And then it's just translation matrix, isn't it? You just go book. Yeah, if you can play a musical instrument, you're slightly better at it because you can hear it. You can hear the dots and the dashes. You're just writing it down. And after you've written it all down, and until you, because you'll eventually start to learn it. And you'll get to a point where you've written down the whole message, and you say, you hear the word repeat, and it's like, right, I've got the whole message now. Now I've got to find the last repeat, and then just translate it all. But you don't really have to be trained. You would eventually pick it up. But you don't have to learn it in order to be
it's just a learn thing,
operator, because you can have the fucking code written out next to you. And it's probably a good idea to have a couple of laminated cards in with those radios with the whole of the Morse code on it. And radio ham user shorthand for often said things. Just like, okay. And just like on the reverse, you know, common number codes. But they are really, really
common number codes,
I should try and build one and get it to work, and then see if I can build 2. And if I can build 2, then I can practice, or I can have someone come over and practice and go, right, that's working. We now need to make up the other 3
now
and test all those
and then
out.
make it
so
work.
When they went in, and then take out the chips of at least 3 of them. And put them.
Well, this is the thing: is like unless you know how to do it, you can't. Like I can solve and do all the other bits and pieces, but because I don't know what I'm looking for to go and buy one, I'm fucked because I don't know what. Because then you're just like, what is the?
I think it's called
what you need is someone.
It's called the cricket or the grasshopper, because it's a small. But it's
a small thing.
It's a well band, something like 20-meter. Morse thing, and the thing about Morse is because it's such a simple code, and it is just like
it goes everywhere.
You can bounce it around the whole fucking planet.
I know. I've seen there's a guy on YouTube called Radio Prepper whose actual name is Gil, and he goes all over the shop with radios and does stuff for like preparedness stuff. He's well worth checking out. The bigger an aerial you get, and the more frequencies you can listen to, and be patient enough to scan round, and then do things like, you can get somewhere.
If I was transmitting, when would I transmit? I'd transmit on the hour. If I was going to transmit, it's easier for people to do. So okay, we're just on the hour, maybe, but because that's when everybody would do it. And you just listen out for a signal, and then send a message back, and they'll give you their location. Their call sign is their location, so you'd have a little note of what the call signs meant, what countries or what letters, and then you'll know whether someone's in Italy or Australia or America.
Wherever.
And it's one of those things that to be able to even talk to someone in America and say it's all gone fucking sideways here means that at least you're getting some message out. And you're getting some, you might get, from the further away you can get, the more news you're likely to get about where you are and what's happening.
What's going on,
But no, I mean, it should be a thing that we teach children at school.
No, for sure. All right, then, I'm going to run.
Sorry,
Have fun.
Okay, you take care.
That's all right. No, thanks, Info. I'll talk to you soon,
Take care, man. Bye.
Bye-bye.